The CEO of one of the world's most popular messaging apps, detained at an airport in Paris. Sounds like the opening of a thriller, right? But this is no fiction. It's the real-life drama unfolding around Pavel Durov, the enigmatic founder of Telegram. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about some tech billionaire's legal troubles? Well, buckle up, because this story goes far beyond one man's situation. It touches on issues that affect all of us: privacy, freedom of speech, and the concerning aspects of the digital world we inhabit every day. Now, before we dive deeper, let's take a step back and look at the man behind Telegram. Pavel Durov isn't your average tech CEO. Born in Russia, he spent much of his childhood in Italy and now holds citizenship in multiple countries, including France. Before Telegram, he founded VKontakte, often called the Russian Facebook. But his story with VK ended in controversy when he refused to hand over user data to Russian authorities during political protests. This clash with the Russian government led Durov to sell his stake in VK and leave Russia altogether. He then poured his energy and considerable resources into creating Telegram, positioning it as a bastion of privacy and free speech in an increasingly surveilled digital landscape. But here's where things get complicated. While Telegram has become a go-to platform for dissidents and activists in authoritarian regimes, it's also gained a reputation as a potential haven for those engaged in concerning activities. Groups involved in harmful behavior have found home in this platform, taking advantage of its encryption features and hands-off moderation policies. And this brings us to the crux of the matter. In an age where our lives are increasingly lived online, how do we balance the need for privacy and free expression with the very real dangers of unchecked, harmful activity? It's a question that lawmakers, tech companies, and ordinary citizens around the world are grappling with. Telegram's stance on this has been clear and controversial. They've consistently prioritized user privacy, even in the face of pressure from governments. Their encryption features, while not as robust as some competitors, still make it difficult for law enforcement to access user data, and their content moderation policies have been criticized as lax compared to other major platforms. Now, let's look at some numbers to put this in perspective. While messaging giant WhatsApp submitted over 1.3 million reports to the Cyber Tip Line, a hotline for reporting online exploitation, in 2023, Telegram submitted none. Zero. Nada. This stark difference has raised serious concerns among safety advocates and law enforcement agencies. But it's not just about concerning content. Telegram's massive group chats, which can host up to 200,000 people, have been flagged as potential breeding grounds for misinformation. In an era where fake news can spread like wildfire and influence elections, this is no small concern. And now, with Durov's detention, we're seeing this tension play out on the global stage. The French authorities' move against Telegram's CEO is a bold statement, a clear message that even the most powerful tech leaders aren't above the law when it comes to protecting citizens from online harm. But here's where it gets really interesting. The reaction to Durov's situation has been, well, let's say mixed. In Russia, where Telegram was once banned, government officials are now expressing outrage at Durov's detention. They're calling it politically motivated and proof of Western hypocrisy on freedom of speech. Talk about a plot twist. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, the self-proclaimed free speech absolutist and owner of X, formerly Twitter, has been vocal in his support for Durov, even tweeting, "Free Pavel." It's a reminder that in the tech world, alliances can shift as quickly as the latest app update. So, what's my take on all this? Well, it's complicated, but isn't that true of most important issues? First, let's be clear. If Telegram is indeed being used for harmful activities, that's a serious problem that needs to be addressed. No platform should be a safe haven for these kinds of concerning behaviors. But, and this is a big but, we need to be very careful about how we approach this issue. The right to privacy and free speech are fundamental to a free society. They're what allow journalists to protect their sources, activists to organize against oppressive regimes, and ordinary citizens to communicate without fear of surveillance. If we start chipping away at these rights in the name of security, we risk losing something precious. It's a classic case of the cure potentially being worse than the disease. That said, I think it's clear that Telegram's current approach isn't sustainable. The hands-off policy might have worked when they were a smaller platform, but with nearly 1 billion users, they have a responsibility to do more to prevent the worst abuses of their service. So what's the solution? I believe it lies in finding a middle ground. Telegram needs to step up its content moderation efforts, particularly when it comes to clearly harmful content. They need to be more cooperative with law enforcement in cases of serious wrongdoing while still protecting the privacy of law-abiding users. At the same time, governments need to be careful not to overreach. Heavy-handed regulation or attempts to break encryption could do more harm than good, driving concerning activity further underground and compromising everyone's digital security. What we need is a nuanced, collaborative approach. Tech companies, governments, and civil society organizations need to come together to develop solutions that protect both safety and privacy. It won't be easy, but it's necessary if we want to preserve the best aspects of our digital world while mitigating the worst. So, what do you think? Is Telegram doing enough to prevent concerning activity on its platform? Should governments have more power to regulate messaging apps? Or would that be a dangerous overreach? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this discussion interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Opinionated Voice. We'll be diving into more complex social issues in future videos, and I'd love for you to join the conversation. What topic should we tackle next? Let me know in the comments. Remember, in a world of easy answers and quick judgments, it's more important than ever to think critically and form our own opinions. Until next time, this is Opinionated Voice, signing off.